Hello, guys, and welcome back to once again another live stream here on the VB Thomas platform. As the announcement said already, we are going to have a special guest today, and that special guest is going to be Edward Pearson. Edward, welcome.
Hi, can't wait. Yeah, can't
Yeah,
wait.
Edward, with this announcement, you are a highly guest here in the league. Talk us a little bit through what you do.
Well, what I do is I race cars very fast. I have raced for 10, 11 years, and I've competed in the British F4 Championship last year, and are hoping to move up the ranks to hopefully being on the F1 game and racing in F1.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Tell us a little bit more about the team you've raced for.
So the past team I've raced for, last year I raced for a team called Virtuosi that some of you may have heard of if you're a fan of F2. They are very competitive in that, and of course they had last year Jack Doohan, and the year before they had a certain Guan Yu Zhou, who of course, as we know, is now in F1.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So I see that the lobby already started, so we're going straight into the track information as we are usually doing a track information to let you guys a little bit know on which track we're going to race today. So it's going to be on the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari with the first Grand Prix ever held in 1980. Of course, it's a little bit of a change because the F1 changed from there is a country, I think it's San Marino. So Imola is actually in
Yeah.
San Marino, but they used to switch over to Italy, and now it's the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. So the first Grand Prix was in 1980, of course, with that little switch over. The circuit length is going to be around 4.9 kilometers, and the race distance is going to be around 157 kilometers in total. We're going to have a short quali with a sprint race and a full 50% race afterwards. The quali record is going to be around 1.13.6, and the lap record is going to be around 115.4. Schumacher has won the most titles here on this track. He has won 7. As already said, the country is going to be Italy with a total of inhabitants of 60 million. The number of laps is going to be 32. As I said already, it's going to be a 50% race with the best overtaking opportunities to happen in turn 2 and 3, turn 5, turn 7, and sector 1 straight. It's going to be a little bit controversial because this track is very hard to overtake on. And now my buddy Edward is going to talk a little bit more about the strategy that's coming up pretty soon. So here it is. Yeah, talk us through the strategy, Edward.
So the strategies we have today, we have 4 different strategies. If it was me driving today, I would take the ballsy prediction and I would take the first strategy. The reason for this is I think that you would gain enough on the start that in the end, even though you might have a little bit worse tyres, hopefully you've looked after them enough and you can keep them all the way to the end. This track is not as high degradation because there isn't much racing there, but you can still get degradation if you're maybe coming through the field, maybe have a little bit of a moment on the grass. That can all add up, and that could maybe affect the strategy. But hopefully, if you have the perfect race, I honestly think that the ideal strategy is number 1.
Right, perfect. So we're going straight into the actual F1 racing, and Edward is going to talk us a little bit more through these laps as I'm going to check something real quick. So we are starting off with Benji at the moment.
So Benji, in qualifying on his out lap, let's see what he can do. Just slowly getting into it. Let's see what he can do. Very clean. Benji looks like a very smooth driver from what I can see. Racing in the McLaren livery, which, of course, the great Lando Norris that everyone loves, he races for, and of course, sad loss of Daniel Ricciardo for 2023. It's very sad that he's leaving, but hopefully he can come back in Red Bull in a couple of years, and he's going on to a flyer, it looks like. Here we go. Oh, we got yellow flag sector 1. That's a bit of a problem, but hopefully it's gone green just before. Perfect. Oh, and sector 3. Okay, it's fine. So here we go into the first section. A little bit too tight, but okay. Under braking, perfect. Get it in. Miss it. Pick a little bit. Turns in nicely, perfect. Gas. Run, perfect. Coming up the hill now. Right, flick left. Slows it down a bit too much there. Lose a bit too much corner speed. A little bit. I hasn't lost him. Hopefully not too much. Well, there we go. We go P1 for the Alpha. Hopefully we can see what Benji can do to beat that. Oh no, okay, so he's aborted. Okay, that's what it looks like. He's warming his tyres to make sure he can go again. Oh, and now we got. No, I'm going down bits. Now with the Haas driver of DB, going hopefully for a flyer. Here we go. See what we can do. Yeah, DRS is open. Going up the straight, doing about 350 kilometers an hour. Late on the brakes. Turn in. Get on the curb. Gas. Straight on. Push a little bit to the exit curb. Push all the way wide. Going down. Late on the brakes. Turn in. Flick it in. Try and use as much track as possible without getting on the gravel. Perfect. He's done very well there. Turns in. On the gas mid corner, pushes out a little bit. Perfect. That was very good exit from DB.
AP Pals now with the fastest lap here of the race with a 1:17.0. So absolutely an amazing lap from Aston Martin right now. AP Pals, who seems to be second in the championship right now. What is your opinion on both the Aston Martins being in P1 and P2, of course?
No, very impressive that both the team is the team's so strong. I mean, they're so far ahead, it's unbelievable. But yeah, hopefully they can keep it up, which it looks like they are, with a 1:16.4 from the other Aston Martin. Fantastic lap there. Yeah, so it looks like Aston Martin's sort of taken hold of this championship, haven't they?
Yeah, and it seems like only the drivers who can come a little bit closer are the Red Bulls and the Mercedeses, although it doesn't seem like any Mercedes is in the lobby today, so that will be a difficult one too, as it will be Lozosen only representing the Red Bull team today.
Yeah, that will affect Mercedes and Red Bull quite a bit, that they haven't got all their drivers. But well, maybe not, because Red Bull have gone P1 with a 1:16.2. Amazing lap there.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys are so experienced. It's only tier 2, but I mean, for tier 2 drivers, they are excellent drivers in my opinion. We haven't seen too many crashes. Last week, I think it was in Miami, if I remember quite well. And today, I don't expect many crashes either, although Sector 1 can be a very difficult one to overtake. Maybe you've got some more insights on that, Edward.
Yes, I mean, it's quite a long run down to turn 1, or turn 2 and turn 3, so very possible to overtake at the start. So maybe we could have some mayhem in the first sort of sector, maybe. But we'll see. I mean, from what I saw in Miami, I saw a little bit of the race and it looked very clean. So hopefully it's going to be a clean race today, but of course it'll be lovely to see some overtaking. Hopefully we can see some overtaking in some different places. That would be lovely to see.
Yeah, because I mean, Sector 2 and Sector 3 is always a difficult one to make an overtake work, especially in Sector 3, where you've got that hard braking zone to the right side, and then that little, what is it called actually? Is it called a chicane into Sector 3? It is actually, right?
Yes, it's a little chicane.
Yeah, so the little chicane is always a little difficult to make an overtake work. We saw Leclerc crashing in the actual F1 race there, right? Yeah, he actually did.
Yeah, just a little spin, and that was because they're quite big curbs. When he came off the curb, rear just stepped out on him. He couldn't. It was totally out of his control. So you know that's the hard thing with these cars. Little errors, you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely here in Imola you have some curves that are quite high and some curves that are quite low. Especially here in Sector 1, you don't really have too much high curves going into the corners, but throughout the corners you've got a couple of sausage curbs, I think is what they're called, like these little bumpy things on the road, and that might cause a little bit of tire degradation throughout the race.
Yeah, no, it will 100%. Big curbs do affect tire degradation quite a bit. But luckily for Imola, even though they might be big, they are nice and smooth curbs, which makes them a little bit better for tyre degradation. There are a couple on the exit that are quite bumpy, but most of them are nice and soft, which is the big thing.
Yeah, especially here in sim racing. I mean, sim racers are not really used to bumpy things because it's just a simulation. But I reckon your field is a little more careful about touching the curves.
Oh yes, I mean, last year, for instance, in British F4, the tracks that we go to have some very bumpy curbs, so you need to be very careful because because in F4 we don't have all the tyre changing. You have to look after a set of tyres for 2-3 races, so you need to make sure that you're getting the most out of them, but looking after them at the same time. So yeah, curbs are a big thing in real life, but I think they are in sim racing. I've had a couple of times when I'm on F1 where you lose the back end on a curb, and so it is still hard on sim racing, but of course in real life it's a bit more different.
Yeah, because in real life it's. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's life or death, but it is a little bit life or death, right? Because we saw. I think it was a Haas. It was in Imola, and I don't remember which one it was. It was like years ago. It was a Swedish or a Danish guy, and he touched the curb and he went straight into the wall. Like he did
Magnussen.
a couple of. No, I don't think it
Was it
was
Max?
Magnussen. I can't remember who it was. Um, he only drove for Haas for 1 year.
Uh,
Larson? Is that a
oh,
driver? No, that isn't a driver, right?
I don't know actually. That's a good one. We're gonna have to look that one up. But yeah, this track is well, for curbs, I mean, all tracks are killers, but this one isn't as bad. But hopefully we don't see any big crashes from curbs today. That would be hopefully not. That wouldn't be very good. Hopefully.
No, no, especially here in Imola, because I mean, and it appears that my girlfriend is in the chat, so welcome, Shuki.
Oh, hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I mean, she always checks out the stream. Not that she knows anything of racing or something, but she
Well,
was
I mean,
excited to
she's
have you over.
interested.
So yeah, I mean,
Oh
it's
well,
just the
I'm
the
feeling
the
better.
how do you say it? The effort that she's here that makes it great.
Oh, okay, well, it's the thought that counts. That's it.
Yeah. All right, so I'm having a quick look on who the driver was actually. I think it was in 2016, and it was. I can't find it. What is this?
Because I have to. That's
It's
funny.
Grosjean or 2018 maybe. Wait, this is actually crazy. I can't find it. I mean, doesn't really matter. As we've got Davila right now in P1 with a 116.1. Absolutely amazing lap.
Oh, the Aston Martins have slowly been picking away at the Red Bulls' time, and they're finally getting there. Hopefully they can get a 1-2 maybe for quali, and hopefully they can take that into the sprint race and the race. We will see, but the Red Bull sadly can't get a 1-2 today because there's only one driver. So, yeah, it's going to be a big point haul for Aston Martin. That's what it's looking like if they don't make any mistakes, and that's a big if.
Yeah, that's a very big if. And I mean, we've seen Davila and AP Paths last week do an absolutely amazing job. And I expect them to do the same here. They're such experienced drivers. I mean, I think, in my opinion, they should be driving in the tier 1. But that would, of course, have a big impact on the tier 2 because we won't be having too much people in the lobby. Because right now it seems like we are with 12 with Rizzle, Sticks, and Benji in P1 and P10 and 11, and I think they are the admins trying to fill up the servers. So I mean, that's a great effort, in my opinion, just to fill up the lobby.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
100%.
yeah, because I mean, racing with 10 people is always a big controversial thing because you don't really have too much battles on track, especially in a tier 2 where you've got drivers like Davila and AP Paths who are like right on the barrier between tier 1 and tier 2, and then you've got a couple of guys who are not very used to racing and they're in tier 2 and they're like the bottom half, so you will have a big gap difference between P1 and the last couple of places then.
Yeah, I mean, tier 2 is, you know, you're trying to get into that. These three at the top, they're trying to get into that tier 1, and they're so close. I mean, from what I'm seeing right now, they're really, really good drivers. They're really close as well. So we could see some close racing between the three, and hopefully the teammates don't help each other out too much. And it's going to be hopefully a good battle from what I can see in qualifying.
Yeah, because the guys are pretty close to each other, AP Paths and Lozos, and then with only 500s separated from each other, and then we've got Davila with a couple of hundreds, nothing too much. It's like 700, so nothing too crazy. I'm not sure if as we see Mag swinging out there, but in the British F4, are they also big gaps between quali laps, or is it a bit the same?
Well, I mean, big gap. No. Last round, for instance. Oh my god. So, last round, Brands Hatch GP, incredible circuit. Used to in 1986, the legendary Nigel Mansell put it on pole there. Very, very good driver. But yeah, so that used to be an F1 circuit, and now we go there in British F4, and I think the top 10 was split by 4/10.
Or
So
10s,
yeah,
that's
it is.
crazy.
Yeah, it's very tight. And I remember once, I think it was Thruxton, except the guy in P1, who Alex Dunn, who absolutely stormed on the championship this year in British F4. Except him, the top. So from second to 12th, it was separated by 2/10. And yeah, incredible, really.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's something that's different from the F1 racing because you've got so many cars who are different. You've got a couple of cars who are faster on the main straights. You've got cars who are faster on the in the corners, and like we saw with Red Bull in 2021, they were really fast through the corners, but then Mercedes catched up on the main straights, and it seems like that had taken a little bit of a change during this season with Red Bull being extremely fast on the main straights.
Yeah, no, we did see that. I remember watching the France qualifying and watching Verstappen do his lap, and I mean, good lap. It was a good lap for no toe. Of course, Ferrari had a toe because in that race, Sainz had a penalty, so they used the toe off Sainz to help the clerk. But with no toe, he was 5-6 kilometers an hour faster than Leclerc. I mean, that's outrageously fast. I mean, and then the Mercedes was 20 kilometers an hour slower. So that shows the power of that Red Bull.
Yeah, and I was a little bit scared for Red Bull because Honda was not their, well, they were their main supplier, but like they didn't really do what they used to do previous years. Now they sort of had to develop their own engine. And I was a little bit scared that the engine was going to fail a little bit, but it seems they're doing pretty well right now. So yeah, I wonder what it's going to be like in 2023. I think I'm not too sure when they are starting. Do you have any information on that?
I think from what normally happens, probably late Feb we'll be seeing winter testing, cars going out slowly. Oh, we've got someone's pulling over. Oh no, he's just slowing down. Yeah, so they'll sort of start end of Feb. They'll slowly start to get into testing, and yeah, for the new cars, who do I think is going to be on top? No one knows until they get on track on race day. I could not tell you, not even qualifying, because Red Bull, yes, they had a great advantage last year, but can they keep it up? They've had some problems, but can they keep it up?
Yeah, and
But there was an
especially
amazing lap there, crikey. A
with Verstappen
15.9
and
from Dazalaz,
no,
crikey.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, amazing lap
59
from the
is
Aston
actually,
Martin, 15.9.
yeah,
That's a
59
good
is
lap.
actually crazy. He beat the other Red Bull with 3 tenths. AP Pavs, who
Yeah, 3
couldn't
times
keep
tomorrow.
his car on track. So
Oh, and he spun. Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah. Crikey. So it is, that he's slowly starting to get away with the Aston Martin, but can the Red Bull put another lap together and get his car closer? That is the question, really. Can he do it?
coming back to the Red Bull situation, I think during the last couple of races, Verstappen and Perez had a little bit of an incident, didn't they?
Yes, I think Max is an amazing driver, 100% amazing driver, but that's his one problem. His one problem is his attitude. Is sometimes when he just doesn't think, and that's when he didn't think in Brazil. by not letting Checo pass. I personally didn't think that was very respectful to Checo. The amount of stuff Checo has done for him in the past is outrageous how he couldn't give him that. So yeah, I was not impressed with Verstappen after that.
Me neither, actually. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a Verstappen fan, but I'm definitely not a Hamilton fan. So if I had to choose between Hamilton or Max Verstappen, yeah, I chose Max Verstappen, of course. But apparently, I saw it through Twitter when the mom of Verstappen said something about Checo's dating Max Verstappen's wife or something. It was very crazy, but
Oh, I didn't
it
see
was
that.
definitely
Oh,
not
crikey.
true. And then later during that week, it was something about Checo on purposely crashing out his car in Monaco or something for Verstappen not be able to
Yes, that was
set another lap.
Max's problem. He said that it was a he said he did this da 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 situation, and the situation was that Checo apparently, to be fair, when you look at the video, you can see his point that Checo crashed on purpose in qualifying to then be able to start on pole, to then of course go on to win the Monaco Grand Prix, which of course Max wants to win again. So that was Max's apparent issue, but personally I think it was a bit childish for him to say that was the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've seen some videos on people having opinions about Max Verstappen's uh, behavior, that he has been growing up recently, like grown up to a man. But I think with these kind of situations, it still makes him a little bit childish, as you said. Yeah, that shows some things of your personality. You know, if you cannot keep your
Hmm.
frustrations within the team, and you have to, well, it is in the team, but I mean, if you cannot keep it within yourself and just have to work it out on track, it's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, of course. But now we have the results. The results are in for qualifying. Crikey. Very close. Right at the top end.
Yeah, and as we see, Davila in P1, Lozozen in P2, AP Pavs in P3, and my fellow Belgian driver Sloke, who was last week really fast in the qualifying, doesn't seem to be um, doing worse
Hasn't taken
either
it
this
this week.
qualifying. And the thing is with Sloke, he's very consistent. No, he's not.
Hmm.
He's very consistent in the qualifying, but he's not consistent in the race at all. We saw him crash a couple of times during the actual race, and I mean, that's something he has to work on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Consistency is a huge thing in this sport, especially with me. I mean, I've started to get more consistent, but if you're not consistent, you're not going to be winning races. So hopefully he can improve that and he can come back stronger. Hopefully that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, and as we are going into the sprint race, we're going to have a quick look at the strategy one more time, because I mean, tire degradation is not that high here on Imola. Neither is the tire overheating probability, because usually it all depends on the setup. But in some tracks, you've got tracks like Saudi Arabia, or let me think of another track, Miami, where the tire overheating probability is so high that the setup doesn't really do anything. And that's when you especially don't have to choose for soft tires, because the soft tires will overheat quite heavily, and then you don't have any grip on them. But right now, I would suggest the soft hard strategy. Of course, not in the sprint race, because the sprint race is only going to be one stint. So what stint would you go on if you were doing a sprint race?
Sprint is hard to say. From what I can see in F1, and hopefully what we'll see today, is we'll see a real split between the medium and the soft. It's always will be a split, and if it's long enough, of course, I can't remember how long it is a sprint race on here, but if it's more than 10 laps, you could be looking at a medium, and medium could, if they can make it work, if they can keep with them, they might have the advantage at the end. So hopefully we'll see a real mixed bag.
Yeah, and I think especially when you are a Red Bull driver, you want to try and change some stuff up for the actual standings. So I'm looking at the standings right now, and they are trailing by almost 200 points. Well, 150 to be exactly. Um, and I mean, they have to change something in their driver behavior to get that P1 position, because it seems like AP Paths or or Davila are capturing that P1 position race after race, and that's what leading them to having so many points on the board. And you might not know this, Edward, but this league actually gives 40 points to the winner.
Oh, crikey. Oh, that's why. Okay, so that mixes it up. So Red Bull, they really need something, and it's only sad they've only got one driver here today, but hopefully what he needs to do is pressure those Aston Martins. That is his job. Oh, and away we go.
Switch over to the tires real quick, because we haven't started the race yet. It's just a warming up lap.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, don't worry at all. So we see a couple of mixtures between medium and hards. So the soft tires, nobody listened to you.
Not surprised.
Hold on, wait, hold on. It is the actual race. So it seems like there's a little bit of a problem with the lobby. I'm not too sure. It seems like AP Pavs has left the session. And there might be an issue with the race, because I was told there was going to be a sprint race.
What? Well, it doesn't look like there is. Oh God. So no one's taken my suggestion for the soft, which yeah, I'm interested in. I'm gonna see what these guys. I'm really interested that a couple of people right in the midfield gone for that hard tire. It's gonna see if they can get them a light. I think that's the main thing. But we've still got the two top men up there who are very close in quali. We'll see what they can. Let's see who's gonna come out on top. There, but it's sad that AP Pass has obviously been either. Oh no, he's back. He's back. He got kicked, but he is back now. It looks like. Hopefully he can start.
And I've got some more inside information of the league owners. So it's supposed to be a sprint race, but I think there has been a little bit of a miscommunication between the admins, as we are clearly seeing 32 laps on the board right now, and it should be 10 laps. So I think we're gonna have a lobby restart within the next couple of minutes, although we're gonna start the race and see if the guys are gonna have a sprint race or not.
Well, either way, we might either get more starts or we're just gonna see one, but we'll see what's gonna happen. He sets up on the front row. Here we go.
It's 5 red lights. And away we go for the FRL Grand Prix here on Imola. It seems like Lozozen has gotten a pretty amazing start here with Davila right next to him.
Here we go. Oh,
what an amazing battle for these two.
We do have yellow flags. We have yellow flags in the back. Oh, push wide. Oh, and the AlphaTauri's got through. Amazing stuff in the AlphaTauri.
And Davila just overtook the AlphaTauri, so that's a little bit unfortunate for Parker, but it seems like he had an amazing start going into the first lap of the race. He had 2 positions gained already, and a couple of other guys who have gained a couple of positions are DB, Guesty, and now Haitam has gained 1 position on Benji, and I think they are battling with each other. I'm not too sure.
Now my question is, can Parker on the hard tyre, one of the only couple of hard tyre runners, can he stay close enough to maybe make an effect at the end of the race? That's what we need to hope that Parker can do.
Yeah, and I think Parker, I mean, he has been performing very well lately. Last race, he was in the Mercedes. I think he got a podium, if I remember quite well, and it was also a strategy decision. So I think he has done an amazing job going on to the hards. It all depends on when there is going to be a safety car. When do you think there is going to be a safety car?
You can't tell. You really can't tell. I mean, if there's one in the middle of the race, it's Parker his strategy won't work. But if it happens right at the start, Parker could get away with this.
Parker going into
as he
the
goes
wall!
wide.
Parker going into the wall!
Oh my god.
What has happened? Parker, who couldn't keep his car on track, and that's what I said with this tire overheating. I mean, if you cannot keep your car and your tires cooled down, I mean, that's what happens. And only after lap 2, So it means that Parker was really struggling on those hard tires, and that might be a great indicator of what's going to happen later during the race.
Yeah, crikey. Yeah, that was quite a crash. Oh, someone else has gone wide. Yeah, Alfa Romeo. Yeah, crikey, what a crash. Yeah, I think he must have been low on grip there. Obviously didn't get much temperature on the warm-up lap very well. But yeah, that show that they are hard to get. They are hard to get alight. So yeah, but is anyone going to come in? I don't think so. Maybe someone might come in for softs. I don't know. Of course, to maybe go onto my strategy. You know, my amazing suggestion. But
It doesn't seem like anyone is coming in. So I mean, that soft strategy would be working out, in my opinion. You could go straight into the hards. And do you think if the guys would be on a soft strategy right now, going into these safety car situation, and they would go onto hard tires, do you think there is gonna be like any chance of the guys driving their hearts out, like don't make a pit stop anymore?
and I'm back. Ah, crikey. So they've all bunched together now for the safety car. See what's going to happen now.
Do you think there was a possibility of the guys who were on soft tires to go into the pits and go for hard tires and just end the race with their hard tires, like no pit stops anymore? Do you think that's possible?
Yes. Do I think that's possible? I don't know. It would have been a really ballsy strategy that might have come off. I don't know. But you would have had to really looked after them, and you might have had a blowout right at the end. But I think it would have been possible, but you would have had to 100% not pushed to the limit.
And someone in the chat asks if there's any signs of rain, and it doesn't appear like there's any signs of rain at the moment, as I don't really have control of the weather. So I cannot tell you if it's gonna rain or not. I think that's a difficult one too, to measure yourself in real life world. Like if you're standing outside, you don't really know if it's gonna rain or not. It is a bit cloudy, but I still see some blue skies, so I don't think it's gonna rain within the next few minutes. So rain-wise, it should be all good.
Yeah, it looks very sunny as it normally is in Italy, but are we getting a restart here? Or have we got another lap?
Seems like we're going for another lap. With the safety car going out, one more lap. I mean, it's quite an interesting thing because all the guys are lined up. So you would think that the safety car is coming in already, but I mean, it's quite obvious that after lap 1 incident that the pack is not really spread out over the field.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
mean,
not very...
Parker.
Oh yeah,
We were talking so good about Parker, and yeah, he is in the wall right now, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, when I saw him off the start, I was very impressed. I mean, amazing start, amazing getaway on the tyre that we knew was going to be hard to get going, but he took the strategy option, and I thought it worked. It really did look like it was going to work, but it just can't get the temp in them.
Yeah, and M in the chat says it's going to be critical for the hard tire runners to get the temp in the tires, and I think that's what Parker was having troubles with getting that temperature in the tires, because it's not good that you're having too hot tires because you're gonna slide all over the field, but it's not good that you have cold tires either, and I think that's what Parker was struggling with. Have you had this incident already in the British F4?
I have actually. I mean, it was in wets, but wets are even harder when it's like really wet. It's hard to get them up to temperature. So I did have problems at the start of the year, and I even had problems when I was on slicks. It's really critical to get them up to temperature, because otherwise you'll start to get more degradation, and you start to get sort of chipping effect on the tyre that will lose performance. But hopefully they won't have that problem, and we are going to get going, it looks like.
And it seems like Lozozen is going to be leading the pack with AP Pavs in P10. I'm not too sure what happened there, but Lozozen, is he going to go?
I don't think AP Pav started.
Right. Because he had that little incident with legging out of the lobby. So Lozozen went away. Davila seems to be sleeping a little bit, 4 tenths behind. I think he could could have gotten a little bit closer.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's lost quite a bit there, but hope he can use some of that ERS to get close. We're going to see... no, too far back.
Yeah, and he's definitely too far back. Sloko, who got caught sleeping too. AP Paths, who have gained a couple of positions here, going around the outside of the McLaren. He backs out of the move as the William lost a couple of
Big
positions.
crash.
So
We
did
got a big crash.
Hightam. Hightam
I
in
think we got a
P11.
crash. I
Yeah.
think we got a crash. Yeah. Oh, we got an Alpine going slowly, and we got... Oh no, but they get going. Okay, perfect.
AP Paths,
Well, we got another
who
crash.
has
Oh my god, everything's
spun.
happening. He spun?
He spun. He
Yes,
is
he
all the way
has.
back in P11.
Crikey. Can he... The question is really for AP is if he can get into the points. He's now really far back after even having a bad start. Now he's even further back. He's nearly a half a lap behind. Oh, and is he spun again?
Yeah, he has spun again. Yeah. He is
Crikey, he's
now
really having a problem
7
getting those
seconds
tyres.
behind Hightam.
Yeah, that's that's quite concerning that he can't get the heat in, but is he close enough? No. He really isn't close enough to that Red Bull. We're going to have to wait until DRS for him to make an attack, I think. But can he get close here? He's just that little bit too far back without the DRS. When he has DRS, if he can stay in this sort of position, just about 4 or 5 tenths behind, he can 100% make in-way. But it looks like your Belgian friend is keeping up okay. He's about 1.2 behind the leaders and staying in that range, which is good.
Oh, and Mac is out, retired from the session, going into the wall. I'm not too sure what happened there. Let's drive with DB and see where the Alpine is parked. It seems like he is on the right side of the track without a front, well, without a rear wing. How do you do this? How do you do this?
Oh crikey, yeah, he's from what I can see there, he's 100% gone in too hard. He's got on the curb. So what we were talking about earlier, he's done exactly what we didn't want to happen. He's got on the curb and he has lost the back end. That is a incident that's very easy to do there, I think.
Yeah, and it's another yellow flag, but it's not a safety car. I mean, it could be a virtual safety car, but those usually don't last too long, as we need to make sure that Macht is going to be off the track, because it's pretty dangerous to have a car on track.
Oh yeah, as we found out before. I mean, even though it wasn't a car on track. Oh, someone's been speeding on a virtual safety car. Benji has been caught. They've found him guilty, and he is now coming into the pits, getting that penalty.
And it seems like Lozozen has caught Davila sleeping a little bit, because he's now 8 tenths in front of the Aston Martin driver, Sloko, who is outside the DRS zone. Well, the DRS second, of course, because you need to be within 1 second of the person in front of you. Well, behind, I'm not
now,
too sure.
I've forgotten. A virtual safety car, does the DRS come on right after? I can't remember.
I think it is 1 lap. I'm not too sure. I think it is 1 lap. So maybe during this lap or maybe next lap, we're going to have the DRS up. Because, I mean, a virtual safety car is not that serious on what the actual safety car is.
No, it's normally just an incident that they don't have to get too many marshals on the track and they just push it off. That's normally what a virtual safety car is.
Davila right now, right behind Lozozen. Is he going to have the DRS? He is indeed going to have the DRS. And this is going to be the first real move he's going to be able to make. Davila with the fastest lap right now. He is on those medium tires. Is he going to be making a move? It doesn't seem like he's close enough. And that's not going to be a move, unfortunately.
Even with the DRS, that Red Bull is still fast enough. Ah, crikey. But he does go and put in the purple lap. Hopefully that means he can get even closer, because he's going to have to, from what we can see, he's going to have to be about 3 tenths behind him to be able to make a move, which is, it's literally right up up the rear end of the Red Bull. So he's really going to have to push to hopefully don't get that much dirty air, and hopefully is okay.
We're going to say up his ass, right?
Yeah.
I know this. Like, you were saying, like, up his and then you were like thinking, oh, that was a funny thing. Clip it, guys, clip it in the chat. And we've got Parker in the chat. He says, "Sup guys, I had a nice tires. Surprisingly, I put too much throttle on the tight corner exit. Absolutely unfortunate, Parker. You had a good race start. We even thought you were gonna score some great points today, but unfortunately, you had too much throttle through the tight corner, and I mean, that's what racing does to you."
Oh yeah, but that's very easy to do. 100%. I'm gonna be honest, Parker. I've done that in my first ever test in F3, and I did it on my outlap. So don't worry, you've joined a very big gang of racing drivers who have spun by putting the throttle down too hard. It happens to everyone. So guess what? Better luck next time. You're just gonna have to learn from it. That's how it works. That's racing for you.
And it doesn't seem like Davila is catching up with Lozos and Ross, who is pretty close to Sloka right now. And I mean, is he going to catch him? I'm not too sure. We're going to have a difficult section here through Sector 1, Sector 2 also. I mean, the last corner, let me have a quick look what turn that is. I think it is turn 7, where it's easier to make the overtake around the outside, but then going into Sector 2 and 3, you have a lot of left and right handers, tight corners, where it's difficult to make an overtake, especially here going through the chicane, where we see Ross catching up a little bit. And I'm not too sure if he's going to get there. He's always going a little bit wider. I'm not sure why that is, actually.
No, I think he's making a mistake there. And he's using quite a lot of his ERS, which I don't think is the best at this time. I think he should be saving it because he's on those hard tyres. He is going to get them at the end of the strategy. He is going to 100% get there. So I think he needs to calm down on the ERS usage, really.
Davila, who seems to not have catched up once again. So I think it's either going to be a problem with the last few corners for Davila, where I think he might not have the setup to take a lot of speed coming out of that corner, going down the main straight, and then just benefit from the DRS.
Yeah, I don't know what it is really. He's always so close to the Red Bull. He's right there the whole time, and I just don't know. It's a very weird one. He's quite similar in the first sector, but that Red Bull just has the little bit of better exit off the last corner that just gets him enough away to keep in front.
Yeah, and the pack is already a little bit spread out, as we can see Benji all the way at the back of the grid together with DB. I mean, DB is all the way back. I think he just made a pit stop. And we've got AP Paths, who is trying to catch up with Hightam. Hightam, who is currently in P7. Rizzle sticks with the first penalty. No, it is actually not the first penalty. Let's have a quick look at the penalties.
Now we've got a couple. AP's got one. I think that must be for a spin or something that he had earlier, or maybe making an incident. And we've got Guest Pops who's got one. Probably these are probably mostly track limits. I'm gonna take a guess.
Yeah, I think they're usually track limits here around Imola. Right now, Davila tries to make a move down the inside. It doesn't seem to be working out. Because, I mean, Lozozen went pretty quick through that corner. And Davila just couldn't take any opportunity to make a dive bomb.
Now, if you're avid F1 watchers, you will know that that has happened before, that exact thing. Someone goes around the outside and a certain driver leaves no room. That his name is Max Verstappen, and that has happened before. If you remember, last year in 2021, well, 2 years now.
Yeah, I do remember it. I do remember it.
Did drive him off. Yes, but yeah,
it appears like we don't really have a big Hamilton fan in the comments box, do we?
Well, no,
Verstappen
actually,
fan, sorry.
I'm gonna be honest.
Verstappen, I'm talking about Verstappen.
Yeah, I am a big Lewis fan. I honestly think that Max is an amazing driver, but again, he's very ballsy, and with some of his moves, he does, like to push people off the track. But yeah, we just saw that again. But I think 100% it does work. But I just think maybe don't do it all the time. But once or twice is okay to make sure you stay in P1. It's perfect.
All right, and now we've got AP Paths in Sector 3, pretty close to Hightam right now. We do have to keep in mind he has this penalty, but does AP Paths have a good exit coming out of that corner? If he does, he might be able to make an overtake. He's 4 tenths behind. He has an amazing exit. Let's have a quick look with the onboard view.
Yeah, AP's been really fast. He's finally started, he's got those tyres warm, and he has overtaken him. That is, yeah, good move. Just easy down the straight. That's the best way to do it in this game. Make sure you are 100% alongside him, and you are absolutely fine.
I mean, that was a pretty pretty easy move for AP Pass, as we're going to switch over to Guesty Pops, who is currently in Sector 2, going into Sector 3, right behind Ross. Ross, who has caught up a little bit behind Sloka, and I mean, ooh, there is a safety car situation. I'm not too sure who DNF'd there.
One of the McLarens, it looks like. And is it Benji?
Yeah, it is Benji indeed. He doesn't have any front wing anymore.
Oh god, oh, I don't know. Is that a virtual safety car, or we got a full safety car?
Full safety car is a yellow spot, a yellow dot on the track on the right hand side. So
Oh
you
yes,
clearly see that
yeah, I can
there's
see
someone
that. Yeah.
out. Guys are all coming into the pits. Ooh, Lozozen, who was... Oh, he was on mediums. Okay, that's great. So Sloka coming in, he was on mediums. And I think the guys who were on hards are going to have a very frustrating evening. You gotta switch over from the hards to the mediums. And as you can see, Ross, Guesty, Rizzle, AP Paths. AP Paths has to switch over to hards. But these three were starting on hards. And right now they had to switch over to the medium tires. Right now we're gonna have a quick break in between the actual racing because there is a safety car situation, and as you guys know, sometimes we hold a little bit of a break in between the safety cars just to have a little bit of a break for ourselves. So we will be right back with you. All right, guys, we're back with it again. Pearson is going to talk a little bit more throughout his experiences with safety cars and like stuff that happened to him during his racing time. So it's great to hear him, and it's great to have him, of course, because we have these inside information, inside views on what's really happening on the in real life racing world.
Yeah. So safety cars. Let's give you an explanation. Safety cars are there, so for of course his girlfriend who's in chat who maybe doesn't know all of it. Safety cars are to slow down the whole pack, to make sure that all the marshals are safe. That's the main thing about safety cars. That also means that it's hard for drivers to keep heating their tires because of course the cars aren't going as slowly as you saw a couple of seconds ago. The Red Bull using all of the speed that he can to make sure those tires ready so that he can go straight away. So yeah, safety cars are a tough thing, especially on the hard compound. It's gonna be hard to make sure the tires are up to temp. And I mean, it's a really hard thing, safety cars, because you've got, as I was saying earlier, you have to keep the heat in your tires. You have to make sure that you are so close to the car in front and really accurate with when you're going to get on the gas and when he goes. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this safety car. Hopefully it's a nice clean getaway for everyone. And with safety cars as the leader, you of course back them up. Make sure that everyone is really nice and tight, and then you'll go suddenly.
All right, so it appears the safety car is coming in this lap, so we're gonna have Lozozen leading the pack once again, and I wonder if Davila is gonna be catched sleeping again. He's 8 tenths behind. He is gonna slow down the pack right now, and he's going around the corner and then just go full throttle down the main straight. And it seems like Davila has been caught sleeping again. Sloka too, as he is getting attacked from behind by Ross. Ross, who is going down the inside. Let's have a quick POV view, and it seems like Ross has already made the overtake work.
Yeah, great move. Really good move. Simple, straight from the safety car. Caught him napping, and again, safety car's an easy way to get past if you catch someone napping. 100%, as we saw for a virtual safety car in France. We saw George Russell
Right now, Guesty coming out of that corner. It was a beautiful exit he had coming out of that corner, and he made the move on Sloka. Sloka, who has been caught sleeping right behind that safety car. He already dropped 2 positions. And I mean, that's what I said during the qualifying. Sloka is really fast during qualifying, but I mean, his race pace is just not there. It seems like he was catching up with the guys up front before the safety car, but after the safety car, I mean, it doesn't seem to be going all pretty well for him. I do have to say the other guys were on medium tires, so that's maybe what Sloka has been doing right now. I mean, he is a little bit slower on those hard tires, but still.
Oh yeah, Sloka really struggled off the start, which, as I was saying earlier, it's so hard to get heat in these tyres, especially the hard compound. So that's why the medium runners, even if they've got, their tyres might be used even more. Or if someone goes wide, Ferrari goes wide on the last corner, and this could mean Sloka gets his position back, which he does. I think, yes, he does. Very good move to get past again. But yeah, as I was saying, the hard compound's so hard to get in, so he will get it going, and he will slowly start to hopefully get away from the Ferrari now. But yeah, it's a really hard thing.
He passed right now pretty close to the McLaren. Rizzle in front of him. Is this going to be a move worth taking? I don't think so here in sector 2. Especially, I mean, coming out of turn 7, it is a difficult one to have a move in further down this sector, as we're going through the last couple of corners in sector 2 right now. And especially here, it is a slow corner down the right hand side, and then we have to go straight into the chicanes. Lozozen with a 3-second penalty. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, 3-second penalty, multiple warnings of track limits. Track limits again. Track limits is a big thing, in it's even worse in real life. It's even worse. I mean, if you go one over the white line a little bit, it's over. So yeah, many people getting penalties, what I can see.
Ross right now round the outside. Is this going to be a move worth taking? It is indeed, as we saw Sloka. It was a risky move from Ross, as we see Sloka. No, it is not Sloka. It is AP Paths who goes into the dirt.
Will he be able to get out? That's the question. I don't know. Will this be another safety car?
Going straight to AP Paths, and it seems like he's spinning all around. Doing donuts.
Yeah, he's done this before. He's not very yeah, I think he's doing that on purpose now. He has to be. Yeah, he's doing that on purpose.
AP Paths, who's trying to cause another safety car, maybe. I'm not too sure if that's allowed, but this is definitely a sign he has given up this race, and I don't think it will be. Well, maybe. You know what the thing is? Maybe he is trying to cause a safety car just to get back to the pack. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it must be, because he's really hasn't had a good race. He's really just struggled with keeping those tyres warm. I think that was his main thing, but it looks like he's been disqualified. But he has got the safety car. He has caused the safety car.
It seems like a couple of guys are coming into the pits. Ross is coming into the pits. He was on those medium tires, and I wonder what tire he will be going on right now. I think it's going to be the hard tires. No, he's going for medium tires, actually.
Wait, what? he going for a two-stop?
I think he is actually, because the thing is with the medium tires, he was on medium tires, right? And that would have been starting from he was already 5 laps on those mediums, so he would have to do another. Let me have a think. 14 laps on the mediums, and I don't think they would last till the end of the race.
Yeah, has he already been on a different set of tires? Did he start on the hards?
Yeah, he started on the hard, so when he came into the
Oh,
pits
okay.
with the safety car, he was gonna switch over to mediums, and those mediums wouldn't last till the end, so that's why he picked the medium tires right now.
And it's not, you can't go for softs for 14 laps. That's a bit too tight.
I mean, if I were him, I would choose the hard tires because you have more fresh tires at the end of the race.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah, the hard tires is probably the best suggestion, but I think he's just going to try and take the gamble with the medium, and he's going to hope that there's no more safety cars.
I mean, 14 more laps on mediums is doable on Imola.
Oh yeah, I think 14 laps is doable, I think.
I mean, it all depends on how much your tire degradation is, of course, and if you're an aggressive driver, maybe on the mediums you try to overtake as much as possible, and that is what might be causing some troubles. Ooh, another guy is coming into the pits. Rizzle.
What's he going on to? Is he going to go hards or is he going to go medium?
Is indeed gonna go medium. Also a pretty interesting decision from Rizzle, and it seems like these guys are really feeling very comfortable on those medium tires. And I mean, they might be going another strategy than Parker was going on, because they might notice Parker, he was on the hard tires, he had troubles with holding his tires warm, and that's why they maybe chose for a medium tire strategy.
Yeah, I think medium tire. Yeah, I think medium tire, maybe they enjoy driving on the medium tire. Maybe that's why a lot of these drivers are going for the medium tire. Maybe they prefer that to the soft even. Maybe that's the way that they want to drive, and maybe that's what they want to use.
Question is Guesty going to make it till the end of the race on those 6-lap-old mediums? So is Benji and so is DB. I mean, there's still 13 more laps to go here during the Imola Grand Prix, and that would mean their tires will be at 18-lap-old mediums at the end of the race. And I mean, I used to have this telemetry running, and I would be able to see the temperature and like the percentage of the tire degradation, but for some reason, this telemetry app just got deleted from my PC. I have no idea why. It just disappeared. Like one night, I was trying to get into commentating. Like I was opening up the app, like it disappeared
Yeah.
just out of my computer.
Well, technology.
Yeah, technology indeed. It sometimes is good, it sometimes is bad. You never know it with technology. As we're gonna start here for the safety car, is Lozozen gonna do the same thing he did earlier? It seems like he is. He's gonna go straight right after that corner down the main straight right now. And Guesty right behind Davila, as my co-commentator would say, up his ass.
Yeah, literally. But can't. No, it's just.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Hightam, right now, he has been caught by Benji and Rizzle, and right now he's in the dirt.
Oh, unlucky. Two of them are in the dirt. Well, you know, that's racing. But,
It is indeed gonna be racing Guesty on those medium tires, really close to Davila right now, and it doesn't appear like the DRS is gonna come out yet. I think it's after 1 or 2 laps, isn't it?
yeah, after 3 laps after safety car, but guess he's decided to stay on the mediums, and it looks like it's helping him because he's getting those tyres warm. Can he get? I don't know. Will he be able to get him? I mean, Dovolo has been very sleepy. That Aston Martin has been very sleepy. I think the driver's asleep. I think when he's on restarts, but can he get the tyre warm? That is the question. Can he get them warm, and can he get away from Guesty?
Yeah, the thing is, Guesty has a lot of ERS spare, and I think he's going to use all of that right now down the main straight. But the thing is, Davila has a little bit of a slipstream toe from Lozozen too. So Guesty is not going to have much of a benefit here down the main straight. So I'm not too sure if he should use all of his ERS up. It doesn't appear like he did though. So that's a wide move from Guesty right now. Benji and Rizzle, who are both 5th and 6th, they both didn't really have a good qualifying position, but it seems like they're doing pretty good right now.
McLaren's are going to get a big hump of points here. 100%. I mean, they're mid table in the championship, so this will be a really positive race for them, as both of them are in the top 6.
I mean, Benji and Rizzle, we saw some interesting things happening in Miami last week where they were like, I got the information from one of the drivers. They told me that they were actually battling, like they weren't blocking anyone from racing, but they were actually battling with each other and just trying to be as safe as possible to make sure nobody crashes out of the lobby, because that would cause a lot of controversial opinions here on the stream. And we see like the guys are just trying to get behind each other and stick in each other's toe right now. Benji was pretty close to Sloka. The DRS is enabled already.
Oh, crikey, so it must be 2 then. So it's straight. Here we are. Can he do anything? This is the question. Can he get close enough to the Red Bull to move ahead and take the lead? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to see a little bit of a battle between Lozozen and Davila, because what we've seen right now, I mean, not too much. Davila, who has been caught sleeping in the last couple of corners in Sector 3, where he couldn't get a good straight line speed coming out of the last corner, and that's what causing him not to be able to make a move into the first corner, especially without DRS. And I think it's even going to be more, well, it's going to be difficult with DRS, because right now, I mean, we saw him already try to make a couple of moves, but each time he wasn't close enough, as we see Rizzle right now pretty close to his teammate. But I think he learned from the previous race that he shouldn't be battling too much, because that is what's caused a lot of time loss between each other. And I think what Rizzle is doing right now is just trying to keep Ross behind him, just to be able to keep Benji in front in P5.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep him behind, trying to make sure they secure the points, because Ferrari aren't that, I mean, they are quite far behind, but, you know, they want all the points they can, 100%.
Rizzle right now, who makes a move on Benji. I think this was a little bit of a team play, because the thing is right now, Benji is going to try and get Ross, well, keep Ross behind him, just to make sure that Rizzle is going to get a little bit of a gap between the two drivers. Maybe try and get back with Sloko, who's back in P4. 10 lap old Hearts. Will they last till the end? I think they will. 9 more laps to go, as the tires will be on 19 lap old at the end of the race. And I think definitely on Hearts is going to be more beneficial than Guesty. So we might be able to see Sloka trying to get back to Guesty. What do you think?
I think he can. I think he's driving quite well at the moment. He's especially with the penalty that Guesty's got. Guesty's got a penalty and Sloka hasn't. So hopefully your Belgian friend can get on the podium today. That's what we want.
Yeah, and the thing we have to keep in mind, especially with you referring to Guesty's penalty, Lozozen has a penalty too. So we might be seeing Davila on P1 again.
Yeah, I mean, he is starting to get away. He is slowly breaking away. And to be fair, Davila could lose it to Guesty on track. Maybe not in the race, because of course he's got the penalty. But if Guesty can maybe battle with him a bit, because he can still win this race even with the penalty, because he is, I think, much faster.
Yeah, and I mean, if Davila is going to battle a little bit more with Guesty, and maybe with Sloka coming up and trying to sneak into this battle, we might be seeing some time loss from Davila on Lozozen. From what I'm seeing right now, Davila can keep up with the Red Bull driver pretty easily, but we might see some changes down the last couple of laps in this Imola Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think we will. I think as tyres get older, people make more mistakes. They're going to be having to look after them. So we could see a couple of mistakes in this last couple of laps, and especially with that little gaggle of cars as we just move over to the Ferrari, who's taken over the position. He's now into P6, so maybe the McLaren move wasn't the best.
Oh, indeed. I think Benji is more of an offensive person, and Rizzle is more interested in defending. And I think that's what we are going to see right now, because Ross has overtaken Benji. So Benji is going to be able to overtake Ross again, and Rizzle is going to be able to defend on the Ferrari driver, Benji, who seems to be not dropping out of that 1 second. So he will have the DRS, but we might not be able to see a move. Ross maybe on the McLaren driver down the inside, and that's going to be moved on for Ross. Is the McLaren driver going to get a switchback? It doesn't seem like it. It maybe is. He has a good exit coming out of that corner. It's not going to be enough for him, so that's moved on for the Ferrari driver.
Question is, can Ferrari keep it up? Yeah, they're only one lap older, so it's not going to be much difference. But can he stay consistent, and can he keep both of the McLarens behind him? Because the McLaren's going to be working together, so he needs to make sure that he is much faster than them. He not a little bit, much faster.
Yeah, and I'm going to switch over to the penalties real quick, because Rizzle has a 6-second penalty, and that even if he is overtaking the Ferrari driver, he still has to make a gap of 3 seconds on him, and I think that's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, I think Benji and Rizzle need to swap. 100%. I think Benji's quite a good driver. He's quite smooth. He's keeping those tyres. Even though they are older, they need to swap. They need to give the good driver who is keeping up with them but hasn't got the penalty. He needs to go ahead.
Yellow flag in sector 3, and that appears to be DB, whose race has been over. I mean, you cannot get back to the group right now. Benji, who's coming into the pits, I'm not too sure why he's going for soft tires, trying to get that fastest lap. Is that something that happens a lot in F4 and F3, Edward?
Well, there isn't really a fastest lap point. It's really sad. There isn't really a fast lap point. So yeah, and we can't really do tyre changes. It's really sad. And I think maybe in FIA F3, those guys I think do get a fast lap point, so they'll come in. But F4, not as much.
Pretty interesting. It would be great though to see that change. But I mean, I think what the F3 and F4 does is mainly trying to focus on tire management, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Because you're on the tyre for so long, you have to be careful. And yeah, I think tyre management, as you said, is a big sort of work you have to do in F4. And of course, it gets harder up the ranks. But if you learn it young, you'll probably get much better at it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been good in tire management in the F1 game. I had a buddy, Kyle, his name was Perfect Bond. He used to be very good with tire management, and he used to always beat me, so yeah, that's something that's really important in racing in general. I don't think it's only in F3 and F4.
Oh no, racing in general, 100% is a big problem, but an example of this, it can win you races. An example is Thruxton this year in F4. Thruxton, which none of you would have heard of probably. But Thruxton is a autodrome. No, not an autodrome. It's an old airport. So the surface is very high degradation. Means that it's much harder to look after the tyres. And with 1 lap to go, my teammate had a blowout. He was 5th and I was 4th, and he had a blowout. And all of that work over the weekend went all into the bin, just because he didn't look after his tyres.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate to hear. It seems like tire management is really big, but I think consistency is also very key during racing, because you know, you sometimes have drivers who are pretty fast and pretty good at racing. They're not consistent and crash every couple of laps, and that's what gets you in the big leagues, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, if you're Mr. Consistent and fast, an example of this, Sir Lewis Hamilton, as I would say. He can put a lap together, but he can also be so consistent. And I think Max is pretty much there. Max is to be fair, on paper, over one lap, I would take Max, but in a race, I would take Lewis because he is so consistent. He doesn't make mistakes. To be honest, last year, 2021, sorry. He, yes, the incidents they were big, but would I say they were all Hamilton's fault? I would say maybe one.
Which
Really
one?
made that
Which
many
one? I would like
mistakes.
to know which one.
Which one? To be honest, I would say Silverstone 60-40 Lewis.
60-40? No way.
Yeah, to be fair, like, I don't know. I would actually say no, sorry. I would actually say Silverstone's 50-50, and I would say that Lewis was a bit more in Italy. I would say that was more his fault.
Italy? I can't remember that
Yeah.
one. Oh,
Monza.
you think... Oh, wait, hold on. Davla makes a move down the outside of Lozosen. We've been speaking about Hamilton and Verstappen right now, but Lozosen is making a move down the outside, as that's a beautiful move done by the Aston Martin. Now the Red Bull is trying to make a move down the inside, but it's not going to work. Sorry if I interrupted you, Edward, but there was a move on track, as that has been cleared out right now. So yeah, I mean, Hamilton 50-50 in Imola. No, in Monza, sorry. That's an even more controversial
No.
opinion.
No. So okay, I'm gonna say it. Okay, so you in Britain in the British Grand Prix, I would say that was 50-50 because I think Lewis went in. When he went in, he had enough speed. And I've been through that corner a million times. You go through that corner, you go through it tight. Like if you're the driver on the outside, you bail out every time. If there's a car that far up your inside, you bail out. So I think that was 50-50 because Max, yes, probably could have gone around the outside. And yes, Lewis could have left him a little bit more space. But yeah, that was a 50-50. But Italy, I would say that was a little bit Lewis's fault.
Pretty interesting to hear a racer's view on it, because I mean, it's always a little bit different from sim racing to actual racing, because you've been in an actual race car compared to some of us who haven't and try to be big men and big dude with their own opinions and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I would.
Oh yeah, no, go.
No, go ahead. I was just going to talk a little bit crap.
No, tell me the crap.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, but yeah, basically what I was gonna say was yeah, when I had after that incident in the Silverstone, I went online and the amount of hate Lewis got was unbelievable. And I just went, like, it's 50-50. And I put that on one TikTok. I commented on one TikTok and said it's 50-50. The amount of hate I got was unbelievable. I don't care because I just find it funny. But it's just like one of those things. People who maybe only got into the sport because of Max and Lewis, which is great. The sport needs more people coming in. But with these opinions that they're just throwing out there, they just need to leave it to the pros.
Yeah, and it's usually the guys who have zero knowledge on racing give the worst opinions. And I would rather take an opinion from an actual racer like you than an opinion from for example, my dad, who thinks he's following the F1, but he doesn't know anything of racing. So
yeah, but I mean, sometimes I respect people's opinions who've watched it for longer. I'll respect people's opinions who've watched it for longer than 10 years. If it's like 6 months, they can honestly keep stum.
Benji, who is pretty close to DB right now, going straight into the last couple of laps here of the Imola Grand Prix. I mean, Benji has that DRS, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move on DB. Davila, who seems to be leading the race right now with still one more lap to go after this one. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a last lap view from Lozosen to see and make sure that we're not going to miss a last lap incident, because that will be very interesting to see if there's going to be an incident. Lozosen right now, who has the DRS coming up the main straight. Is he going to be making a move down the main straight? It seems like it. Lozosen Is he going around the outside? It seems like it. He doesn't have any ERS left. He's going on the grass. Is it going to be moved on? It doesn't appear like it. He's pushing, but it's not going to be enough, as he will be a little bit. I mean, it was a little bit interesting from Davil out there. He went a little bit outside and just trying to force Lozozen down the grass, but still beautiful racing from these two as they kept it clean during the first sector. Right now, going into the second sector, it seems like Davila has really gotten a little bit of a gap between himself and Lozozen, and I think that's going to be the end of the race here, unless we're going to see some crazy dive bombs from the Red Bull driver, but I don't think he will risk anything.
No, that was yeah, very clean racing, very good racing. As I got yellow flag sector 2, but yeah, amazing racing from both of them, very clean. But that's actually quite funny because the Red Bull, no, the Aston Martin did exactly what the Red Bull did to him, left him no space.
Yeah, indeed, and that's gonna be the end of the race here with Davila coming across the line to capture a P1 on track. He was gonna capture a P1 anyway because Lozozen had a 3-second penalty. Now we are going to see Guesty in P3, although it seems like Guesty has made a little bit of a mistake because Slowkey is going to get P3 on the board here. So the first podium, well, one of the first podiums, I think, for the Alfa Romeo driver. So what we hoped for has come true, Edward.
Yes, your friend is on the podium, your Belgian. Fantastic, well done.
I wouldn't call him a friend because I don't know him personally, but I mean, Belgian.
No, but you know what I mean.
Belgian. How do you say it actually? Belgian.
Oh, Belgian buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll call it the Belgian B. We are the BBs, you know, the Belgian buddies. All right, and that's gonna be race over. So, we're gonna talk a little bit more about what has happened. First, we want to make sure to capture the actual standings because that's very important for the admins to be able to make a standing list and actually changing the strategies. What am I saying? The standings, of course. Lozozen, who has captured the fastest lap right now. And this is going to be the standings of today. AP Pavs, who couldn't finish the race, unfortunately, he has gotten disqualified. Would you like to talk a little bit more about the standings, Edward?
Yes, the standings. As we can see, Davila has extended his lead to, oh my god, unbelievable amount of points. He is running away with this championship. He's basically double his teammate. No, he is double his teammate, sorry. He's doubled his teammate in points. I think he'll be leading. Wait, sorry, I'm just going to pull up a quick stat here. He would be leading the constructors as well, even if he didn't have his teammate. So, yeah, amazing performance already from him. And Lozozen will pull into P2 in the standings. And yeah, what an incredible race, and yeah, some moves in the championship, which is very interesting.
Yeah, and here we see the what is it again? The constructor standings with Aston Martin clearly taking a big gap with a P1 and a DNF today, but still he will capture 40 points for the Aston Martin team. Lozozen, who will capture, I think it is 36, I'm not too sure, but still his teammate was nowhere to be found. Maybe the Alfa Romeo team, who will climb up a couple of positions. I think they're going to climb up one, although Guesty has captured P4 today, so we might see a little bit of a change there. And for the rest, I don't think there's going to be a big change. Maybe the Ferrari team, as the Alpines were nowhere to be found, the Ferrari team might be leading one position. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that was the race of tonight. I would like to thank Edward Pearson a lot to be here today. It was very much appreciated. Yeah,
no
is there
problem.
anything
I
else you want to
enjoyed it.
add to the stream today?
What I'm going to say is that we've seen some really great racing today, and I'm very impressed that I can't believe this is a tier 2. I mean, some of the drivers in here should 100% be looked at to be in tier 1, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are really fast. We saw a couple of a couple of interesting things happening with AP Pavs spinning around, trying to cause a safety car just for his teammate to be able to catch up with Los Ozone. But yeah, I mean, that might lead up to a penalty. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it will be a penalty.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
that's something we will see next race, as I will be there next week. Although, no, I won't be actually, because I will be going to Miami. So this was my last stream of January, as I will be back in 2 weeks for the. Let's have a quick look. What? Where is the calendar? What race is it going to be? Hold on, let me catch
It
it.
will be. Wait, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. It will be France. No, Baku. He'll be back for Baku.
Ooh, Baku is a really stinky track in my opinion. I mean, the thing
No.
is with Baku, you've got that straight line speed, and it's just uh, nah, it's not
Like,
great because I've seen some setups with 1-1 settings, like 1-1 wings, and like they were overpowered.
yeah, no. But, yeah. Baku is in really weird circuit, but you'll see some great racing, and I might come to that. I'll see if I've got some time, and I might join you again.
All right, that's perfect. So we will give you some more information about that later during this week or next week, as I will thank you guys very much for watching this stream. I hope you guys liked it, as we will be right back with you within 2 weeks for Baku, of course. So yeah, thank you very much, and we will see you next, well, within 2 weeks. See ya. This was Phoebe Thomas and Edward Pearson as your commentators. Peace out.